At 4 on 30 hours, a climbing rope was found in 2 pieces on a ridgeline above Jenny Lake. The location was the standard southwest route on Middle Teton, within Grand Teton National Park. The object was a section of nylon rope, 22 feet long, both ends cut clean. No fraying, no melting, no abrasion marks. A second segment lay downslope, identical condition, identical separation. The granite around it was smooth, no sharp edges nearby. The belay anchor above remained intact, hardware closed, no rope attached. All rope lengths were later accounted for. No tool marks were identified. The severance mechanism was never determined. The Teton Range follows a north-south alignment across 40 miles of northwest Wyoming. Much of the range lies within Grand Teton National Park, established in 1929. The highest peaks exceed 13,000 feet. Exposure above treeline is common. Technical climbing routes were documented and graded beginning in the 1930s. By the early 1950s, climbing traffic had increased across established corridors. The western face of the range drops sharply toward Jackson Hole. Approach trails from the valley floor follow drainage routes carved during glacial recession. Most climbing accidents occurred during descent or on mixed terrain. Falls, rockfall, and weather accounted for the majority of documented incidents. The National Park Service maintained records of rescue operations and equipment failures. Standard climbing rope in that period was made from manila hemp or nylon. Nylon rope became widely available after World War II. Tensile strength was rated and documented by manufacturers. Failure modes were understood. Abrasion left fiber residue. Dynamic loading produced elongation and heat damage. Sharp edges created fraying at the point of contact. Severance without visible distortion was not a recognized failure mode. June 14, 1962. Jenny Lake Ranger Station. Incident documentation: party of 2 climbers reported overdue from Middle Teton ascent. Weather clear, no storm activity in prior 48 hours. Search initiated at first light. Route identification based on signed register and vehicle location at trailhead. 14:30 hours. Rope section located on ridgeline approach, approximately 10,800 feet elevation. Length 22 feet. Both ends severed cleanly. No fraying observed. Rope appeared recently cut. No abrasion pattern. No thermal discoloration. Fibers intact at termination point. Surrounding rock surface smooth granite. No sharp projections within 10-foot radius of discovery site. 15-20 hours. Additional rope segment. Located 30 feet downslope. Length 18 feet. Severance characteristics identical. No anchor hardware recovered in immediate area. 16:40 hours. Belay anchor identified on ledge above ridgeline. 2 pitons in place, undisturbed. Carabiner gates closed. No rope attached. Anchor position consistent with standard route description. Party not located on ridgeline or along descent corridor. June 15, 1962. Jenny Lake Ranger Station, search continuation. Aerial reconnaissance conducted. No visual contact. Ground team expanded search radius to include talus slope below west face. 0 on 9:20 hours. Climbing pack located in Boulder Field, elevation 9,400 feet. Contents: water canteen, map, extra carabiners, headlamp, no identification inside pack. Condition suggested recent placement. 10:15 hours. Second pack located 60 yards east. Contains rope coil, chalk bag, personal items. Rope coil intact, no damage. Both packs positioned upright. No evidence of fall or slide. Impact. 12:10 hours. Boot prints identified on snowfield adjacent to Boulder Field. Prints lead toward treeline, then terminate at rock slab. Tread pattern consistent with mountaineering boots. Depth and spacing suggest normal walking pace. No continuation observed beyond rock surface. June 16, 1962. Jenny Lake Ranger Station equipment analysis. Severed rope sections transported to station for inspection. Rope manufacturer, Gold Line, standard 11mm nylon kern mantle. Cut surfaces examined under magnification. Fiber ends uniform. No compression marks, no melting. Severance plane perpendicular to rope axis. Clean separation across all strands simultaneously. Tool marks not identified. Comparison made with known cut samples, knife, hatchet, saw. None matched observed termination pattern. Abrasion testing conducted on sample section using granite edge. Result: progressive fiber damage and fraying inconsistent with recovered evidence. Rope had been in use approximately 6 months, according to purchase record traced through equipment supplier. No prior damage noted in logbook entries by party members. Standard practice required visual inspection before each climb. Party had completed 3 prior ascents in the range without incident. Boptursi, June 18, 1962. Field Report Addendum. Re-examination of ridgeline site conducted with additional personnel. No secondary rope damage observed on surrounding rock features. No metal fragments recovered. No chemical residue detected on rope ends. Anchor hardware removed and inspected. No unusual wear. Gate function normal. Belay ledge surface showed no tool marks or disturbance. Weather records confirmed stable conditions during climb window. Visibility unrestricted. Standard radio check-in had not been scheduled for this route. Vehicle remained at trailhead parking area for 9 days before being towed per park protocol. One climbing partner's wallet was later recovered from. Pack contents. Identification confirmed residency in Colorado. Employment records indicated experience level, intermediate to advanced. Second climber's identification not located in either pack. Rope sections retained in evidence storage. Search operations suspended June 22, 1962. No accident report filed due to absence of identified causal mechanism. Park Service memorandum dated July 1962. Referenced the incident in context of equipment failure investigation. No similar severance pattern appeared in subsequent rope failure documentation. Rope manufacturer contacted. No recall issued. Tensile testing on production samples showed compliance with rated specifications. The ridgeline section where the rope was found remains part of the standard Middle Teton climbing route. Approach conditions have not changed. The route continues to be climbed each season. No communication from the climbing party was received after departure from Jenny Lake Ranger Station on June 12th. Standard protocol did not require mid-climb radio contact on this route. Weather monitoring equipment at the station recorded no anomalies during the climb window. Barometric pressure remained stable. Wind speed at elevation estimated below 15 miles per hour based on valley readings. June 19, 1962. Supplemental field notes interview conducted with last known contact. Trail information, volunteer at Lupine Meadows Trailhead. Volunteer recalled party departing trailhead. 0645 hours, June 12th. Both climbers appeared adequately equipped. Conversation brief. Route intention confirmed as Middle Teton via standard Southwest Ridge. No indication of equipment concerns or route modification. June 20th, 1962. Jenny Lake Ranger Station, photographic documentation, review, rope sections photographed in situ before removal. Images reviewed by station personnel and regional equipment specialist. Specialist notation: termination surface inconsistent with known mechanical severance. Fiber structure suggests instantaneous separation under conditions not reproducible in controlled testing. No recommendation for further material analysis provided. Rope coil recovered from second pack inspected separately. No damage observed. Coil diameter and wrapping consistent with storage after prior use. Length of recovered coil, 140 feet. Combined length of severed sections, 40 feet. Total rope length standard for party size and route, 180 feet. All rope accounted for. June 23, 1962. Administrative summary. Search area covered approximately 12 square miles across 3 elevation zones. No additional evidence located. Helicopter flyover conducted June 21st. Included thermal imaging survey of north face and adjacent valleys. No heat signature detected. Ground search teams reported no scent trail beyond. Snowfield termination point. Climbing register at trailhead reviewed for prior 6 months. No unusual entries. No reports of equipment malfunction on this route. Park Service consultation with regional climbing organizations yielded no similar incident reports from other mountain ranges. One item recovered from first pack, a wristwatch. Timekeeping function operational, crystal unbroken. Watch stopped at 2:47. No notation regarding AM or PM context. Elevation of pack recovery site suggests afternoon timeline more consistent with climb progression. July 9, 1962. Memorandum to Regional Office incident, classified as unresolved disappearance pending further evidence. Rope severance mechanism remains undetermined. No safety advisory issued for route or equipment type. File remains open for supplemental information. 17 additional climbs were completed on the Middle Teton Southwest Ridge between July and September 1962. No equipment failures reported. No anomalies noted in post-climb inspections. The severed rope sections were stored in a labeled container at Jenny Lake Ranger Station until 1978, when evidence was transferred to Regional Archive Facility during administrative consolidation. Material condition at time of transfer, stable, no degradation. Current storage location, Park Service historical records, Intermountain region. Explanations for the rope severance were considered across multiple domains. Mechanical failure seemed initially plausible, but microscopic analysis ruled out standard wear patterns. Sharp rock edges were examined. Granite composition in the ridgeline area is consistent throughout the range, coarse-grained, with rounded crystal formations due to glacial polishing. No blade-like projections were identified within the discovery zone. Even if an undetected sharp edge existed, the rope would have shown progressive fiber damage before complete failure. Climbing ropes under tension fray, visibly when abraded. The uniform termination across all strands suggested simultaneous severance, not incremental wear. Thermal causes were evaluated. Lightning strike could theoretically produce clean cuts through synthetic materials, but weather data showed no electrical activity. No scorch marks appeared on the rope ends. No ozone odor was reported by recovery personnel. Frictional heat from rapid sliding might melt nylon, but this produces characteristic bead formation at the strand ends. None was observed. Chemical degradation was considered. Certain acids or solvents can weaken nylon, but the process is gradual and leaves discoloration. The rope showed no staining. No chemical odor was detected during laboratory handling. Environmental exposure to ultraviolet radiation degrades nylon over months or years, not instantaneously. Human factors were examined. Intentional cutting by a third party would require presence at elevation during a narrow time window. No other climbing parties were registered on the route that day. No witnesses reported seeing additional personnel in the area. The climbers' packs were found separated and upright, suggesting deliberate placement rather than emergency abandonment. But no motive for staging a disappearance was identified. Personal background checks revealed no financial distress, no legal issues, no interpersonal conflicts documented in available records. Self-severance of a rope during a climb would be irrational and inconsistent with the climber's experience level. Navigation error was reviewed. The route is well defined. Weather was clear. Visibility extended across the valley. The climbers had completed the route once before in the prior season. Descent routes from the ridgeline are straightforward. Multiple exit paths lead back toward Jenny Lake drainage. Boot prints on the snowfield indicated normal walking, not evasion or disorientation. Documentation limitations affect all historical search operations. Photographic coverage in 1962 was limited by equipment weight and film capacity. Not every square meter of terrain was visually recorded. Radio communication was restricted to line of sight and required heavy battery packs. Most climbing parties operated without continuous contact. Personnel availability constrained search duration. After 9 days, resource allocation shifted to active rescue priorities elsewhere in the park system. Seasonal weather changes complicate evidence preservation. Snowmelt in late June exposes toluene and scree that may conceal or displace smaller items. Afternoon thunderstorms, while absent during the climb window, occur frequently in July and August. Surface water runoff can, edong debris across slope faces. Mammal activity in alpine zones includes marmots, pikas, and occasional black bears. Scavenger behavior might explain pack displacement, though no tooth marks or fabric tearing were documented on recovered items. The severed rope remains the primary unresolved element. All tested failure modes required conditions that were not present: abrasive surfaces, thermal events, chemical exposure, mechanical tools. The uniformity of the cut across both sections suggests a consistent process, yet no process from the known inventory of rope failure mechanisms matches the physical evidence. Fiber analysis confirmed that separation occurred perpendicular to load direction, which is inconsistent with dynamic failure under tension. Ropes under climbing loads fail at the weakest point, often where a knot or carabiner creates stress concentration. They elongate before breaking. They show necking or strand pullout. These characteristics were absent. A sample of the rope was later examined by a materials engineer unaffiliated with the Park Service. The engineer's written assessment, dated August 1962, included the following observation: the termination plane exhibits no tool signature, no thermal alteration, and no progressive strand failure. If I were presented with this sample without context, I would conclude the rope had been severed by a mechanism not currently represented in our testing literature. No alternative mechanism was proposed. The rope now rests in a climate-controlled archive, cross-referenced under incident number 62 GRTE 04A1. It can be examined by appointment. The ridgeline where it was found is marked on topographic maps as grid reference 487299, elevation 10,103 feet. Climbers still pass through that section on clear mornings in summer. Some of them know the story, most do not. The file was never closed, but no supplemental entries were added after 1962. No secondary incidents involving rope severance under similar conditions have been recorded in the Teton Range. The two climbers were never located. Their names remain in the missing persons registry, though the case is no longer active. The archive holds what it holds: measurements, photographs, a length of nylon with two clean ends, but the archive remains open. If you found this account worth your time, consider following the channel for more from the archives.